So we had Ayman Arab in VP Plus. If you don't know who Ayman Arab is, he runs a $130,000 a month, not a year, a month content agency, and he started as just an editor like a lot of you guys are right now. We had him in VP Plus as a guest speaker. He broke down tons of sauce. I actually think this was one of the most valuable guest speaker spots ever. So I decided to leak a few clips. These are 5 of my favorite questions that he answered. Very actionable. And I've written them down in the VP Plus notebook. So we're going to cover value first volume, how much volume you actually have to hit to succeed with value first outreach, how to actually sell a brand new offer, whether you need a case study, a guarantee, how he sold his brand new offer and did very well with it. Should you work for an agency? Very big one. A lot of you guys are contemplating agency. There's a lot of bad press about agencies. Don't work for an agency. Don't work for an agency. He's got a very good take on that. Also, the traits that you should have to succeed in an organization or an agency, and whether you should focus on personal brand or outreach. Without further ado, let's jump into 5 of my favorite clips from the Ayman Arab session. Let's get it.
Going back to the Dream 100 value first approach, if you're pitching short form, you can send people free short form clips. If they have no content, you can send short form scripts. And then you could also send YouTube video scripts. If you're pitching YouTube, you can send like small snippets of like an edited YouTube video. I don't suggest that. What we mainly do is YouTube video scripts. You can also do, what do you call it, like content strategy documents. So you can make a Google Doc and go like, yo, I analyze your content. You should be making more stuff like this, this, and this. Here's like the video ideas you should be doing. And then you send a loom with it. You send it to the person. The outreach message will be something like, hey, I analyzed your content and I figured out some things you could be doing differently to see more results. I made this free document. Let me know what you think. Send it over. And as long as you're sending 5 of those per day, for every 100 people you reach out to, you should be able to close about 1 to 2. Typically 1 when you're closer to starting out. So it's not unreasonable to close 1 to 2 people every single month from this outreach method. That's the sort of ratio I saw when I was doing outreach.
Great clip. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So, couple things to unpack there. A, Ayman suggests 100% value first outreach. In this day and age, boring, tedious, old school outreach, volume based with no value attached is just going to get in the way. It just is. Like, the marketing game is so advanced right now. There's so many millions of players every single day trying to get more or less the same clients that if you don't stand out, you basically have no chance. Like, sure, if you do like a 50,000 emails, right? Law of averages, you might land somebody, but you need to make your outreaches much more valuable, and value first is the best way to do that. And if, to be honest with you, I'm going to play a video at the end. It's going to be this video. This breaks down visual marketing and value first. But another thing you said there was hitting volume. You should be doing 5 a day, and you shouldn't expect to land every one. In fact, out of every 100 you outreach to, you should expect to land 1 to 2. That's why volume, even with value first, is so important. When I talk to people who aren't succeeding, they say, I tried value first, it doesn't work. And I literally say, well, how many did you do? 6. Throw the screenshot of the guy. I won't show his username. I don't want to shame him. In fact, maybe I should shame him. But anyways, 6, bro. That's what you should be doing in 1 single day. The killers who are doing insane revenue, just like Ayman Arab, $130,000 a month, you need volume as well as value first. They say it themselves.
So you want to just pitch people for free first and then get them some type of result. And then you can go and guarantee that result to other people. Of course, this can take, sometimes it's a 3-month process. Sometimes it can take 6 months. The other thing you can do is like, you can just jump straight out the gate and just say like, hey, I will get you 10 to 30 qualified calls a month. And that's actually what I did, because when I made that offer of, hey, I'll get you 10 to 30 qualified calls a month, I'd actually never done it before. But what would happen is whenever I would get people on, what happened was I saw other people were able to do that, and I saw which types of clients they were able to give that guarantee to. And then I just started offering the same guarantee to other people, so I was able to see other people's YouTube strategy and kind of take it down to the bones and see what they were doing. So I was kind of ballsy with it. I was like, hey, I'll get you this result. And then it ended up working out. Another thing is that most people don't understand with these guarantees and offers is that, like, on my website for over a year, I had like, hey, we'll get you 10 to 30 qualified calls a month or you don't pay. But when I get on the sales call with the person, then like I actually have to check out their socials and see if I can get them that result or not. And like 50% of the time I couldn't. And I told them that straight up. The reason why was because they had no audience, no followers, no nothing. So I was like, look, Mr. Prospect, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not going to get you 30 calls a month or something. The first 3 months, it's going to be pretty dry. And then 3rd to 4th month onwards, you'll get 2 to 3 calls a month. And then 4th month will be this much. So you can advertise a certain result, but then once you're one-on-one with the person, you can actually see what results you can get them based on their audience size.
Absolute banger clip. 10 out of 10. Love that. Again, lot to unpack right there. Ultimately, that was how to land clients for a new offer. First thing he says is sometimes you need to work for free to get the case study for people to believe you can actually fulfill that service. But he said he was more on the ballsy side. He kind of went in there, raw dogged the offer, and basically said, hey, like I can get you 10 to 30 qualified calls per month. He'd never done it before, but that seemed to work out for him. However, a very interesting thing that he said right there is that he would get on the call and oftentimes he couldn't get the result for them. They weren't big enough, so he couldn't actually, give them the guarantee. But he would kind of manage expectations and still try and sell them regardless. He would basically just manage expectations to the point where he said, hey, you're not big. It's probably going to be hard to get this amount of qualified calls. You're just like, you're not an established personal brand yet. You're not an established creator. However, this is a realistic expectation of what I probably can get you. And, a portion of those people he would still convert naturally just because he was 100% straight up. Having an offer doesn't mean you're going to shove it down people's throat. It actually means that you're kind of trying to disqualify a lot of people. You're saying, okay, are you actually good for this or not? Because it's going to make your life harder if you're trying to produce a result for somebody that just isn't actually your ICP, your ideal client profile. And Ayman would manage expectations, but then try and sell them regardless, ultimately while managing the expectations. Great clip. Let's move on to why you should work in an agency.
When you're starting out as an editor, one of the underrated things, and I'm a bit biased here because I'm hiring editors right now, but one of the good things to do is like go work underneath an agency, because when you work underneath an agency, they'll be reviewing your work and like helping you improve constantly. You're going to get like actual good footage to practice on, and more importantly, you'll get like a constant stream of work, and you don't have to like worry about client acquisition. Where's my next client coming from? Because they're just constantly feeding you videos. So I think working for an agency is extremely underrated from the jump. I even say the same thing to my friends who do like email copywriting. I'm like, yo, you should work underneath an agency. Like, sure, they'll pay you a bit less, but you get all of these reps and you see how an agency operates and you learn so many things. And then 1, 2 years later, you can go start your own thing, right? So it's never a bad thing to work underneath someone because you'll learn a lot.
I absolutely love this clip, mainly because there's such a stigma around working for an agency in the video production space, the online video editing space. People shit on agencies all day long. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there absolutely are some bad agencies. There are bad actors who are trying to take advantage of you and pocket, probably more money than they should and really, just more or less looking for a form of slave labor. Like they're trying to just take every single penny, pay you peanuts, but there absolutely are some good agencies, and it's about finding those good agencies. He makes a very good case as to why working for an agency as, a stepping stone in your career gives you a lot of firsthand experience. You get real client projects to work on. You get essentially the mentorship of creatives who are further ahead than you, and you really get to dip your toe in the water, maybe even jump a few steps forward and work with, more established creators than maybe you'd be able to close on your own in the early days. And it gives you a lot of firsthand experience that you can then use to build your own career when you transition away from that. Love that. Now, if you are considering, hey Jack, that sounds pretty good, working for an agency as a stepping stone sounds pretty good. I'm not going to stay there forever, but a stepping stone sounds good. Ayman then breaks down how to succeed in an agency and basically the traits he looks for great agency team members.
What would you say is one of the most important traits of an editor working in an agency?
Yeah, so the most important traits is like number one, responsiveness. So like just how quickly they respond, obviously during working hours. And then the next trait is just being receptive to feedback. So if like we give you some piece of feedback, you kind of just do it. Basically, like of course you can say your own opinion, but being receptive to it and not like, oh no, you're wrong, blah blah blah. And then the third thing is just improving over time, because sometimes we work with editors, we work with them for like 8 months straight. I'm looking back at the videos they made like 6 months ago, and it's kind of like the same thing. Like they haven't seen really any improvement. So when that happens, it's not really a good thing. You need to be constantly improving. And then the next thing as well is attention to detail. This is probably like the biggest one. So the worst thing for all agency owners who have video agencies like me is when we get videos and we're constantly quality checking for like spelling mistakes. That one is like a huge one, and Camilo can probably attest to this as well. So like I literally have a full-time quality checker whose only job is to quality check videos, because it was like blowing my brains out. I was like, bro, I can't keep checking for these spelling mistakes anymore. So to summarize, I forgot them, but it was like, okay, attention to detail, responsiveness, receptive to feedback, and then maybe there was one more, but those are the the main ones.
Big clip, absolutely big clip. If you're considering working, and by the way, this advice right here for working in an agency is applicable to working with any creator as well. Responsiveness is obviously super important. Improving your skills over time, like not just plateauing and genuinely trying to get better, loving your craft, getting better over time. And then also, you know, not missing deadlines, another completely massive one. And then just like looking for any little problems in the video. Like attention to detail is huge. I've worked with more editors than I can even, you know, count at this point, both professionally and then in my YouTube content career. Spelling mistakes are very annoying. They absolutely are. Now, it's even more annoying if you're an agency owner who's sent that video off to a client who's paying you and there's spelling mistakes in there. So attention to detail is massive. Just checking for no spelling mistakes in the captions is basically like an entry-level way to ensure you have some decent level attention to detail skills. Final clip, this is going to be a good one. Outreach versus personal brand. What should you prioritize? I love his answer on this. Let's get to it.
Focus on your outreach, so outbound, and your personal brand at the same time, right? You can do both at the same time. So what you should be doing is posting, like set some type of schedule where it's like, I will post on YouTube once a week. I'm going to do 2 tweets a day. I'm going to do freaking this and that, whatever the sort of schedule is. I can go into the accurate numbers in a second. And then at the same time, you tell yourself, I'm going to do 5 outreach per day. As long as you're doing both of those, they're going to work together, because when you outreach people and you have more followers and more social proof on your account, more people will respond to you. And like vice versa, like they play with each other. So on Twitter, I'm really a big Twitter guy. There's a lot of people there. There's people lurking who like never like tweets or anything, and like they're making like millions of dollars a month. Like one of my clients, he makes like 1.5 mil a month, and then he was just randomly, he sent me like a screenshot of one of my team members' tweets, and he like sent me something, and it's like, you'd never think, you know, he would see this person's tweet. So there's a lot of lurkers on socials. So YouTube and Twitter are really like the main focus that I tell people to push for. So yeah.
Absolutely love that clip. A key thing that Ayman said right there is a dual acquisition system. You should be focused on both realistically at the same time. You should be focused on building your personal brand up, which is your source of inbound leads, and constantly outreaching to bring in new clients and ultimately start new conversations with prospects that begin sales cycles and then lead to new clients. So I absolutely love that. And realistically, that plays in very well to what we teach in VP Plus, which is fantastic. It's why we've had so many fantastic case studies. And I really, at the end of this video, because he said the dual acquisition system, I just love this. This is what we're doing right now. About 2 weeks ago, we launched a brand new system in VP Plus called the 30-Day Roadmap Challenge. It simultaneously uses value first outreach, so higher quality outreach that we've talked about today, Ayman has talked about today, and personal branding through our Blue Path strategy in VP Plus. And it combines them together into a 30-day step-by-step roadmap with value first outreach scripts, with copy for your before and afters, with follow-up scripts. And the goal of this is that if you don't get a client in 30 days, we'll give you your money back. So I want to go ahead and give you an invite right now into Video Production Plus, my private members community. That's where all of these live sessions happen. We've had, you know, people like Daniel Fazio doing $1.1 million a month. We've had, you know, Ayman Arab. We've had even big YouTubers, some of the biggest in the world, like Arak, 15 million subscribers, in here as guest speakers. But the core principle of what we teach inside is get clients. We help you get paid video editing clients and build a career of $4,000 plus a month income in video editing. If you want to take the roadmap challenge, I'm doing a risk-free guarantee. If you join VP Plus and don't land a client by following the 30-day roadmap, I'll give you your money back. In fact, also, if you use code 30days, this is only for you guys at the end of the video, you can join for your first month for $33 instead of $50 for your first month. Try the roadmap, and if you don't get a paying client, I'll give you all your money back. It's basically a complete no-brainer. So click the link in the description if you want that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to throw you off to this one next. This is Daniel Fazio. It's a great continuation from this. He does $1.1 million a month. This is actually the guy that coached Ayman Arab. Great session. See you there.